Well, good morning once again. Welcome back to my workshop, Tony's workshop. I'm doing a short video today on I've purchased I'd heard about it coming online for sale. It's the Anycubic Mega Pro, and what drew me to the printer was the fact that you actually get a laser unit with it. It comes complete, and it's just plug and play, different menu on the screen, and you go into that when you swap over to the laser unit. Now, I didn't particularly buy it to do the laser, but I bought it because I thought it was a fairly good printer. And after what happened with the Filaments Pro with the screen, I still had no reply from that, and I still say to this day, Anycubic's after sales service is absolutely rubbish. They've not got back to me. I'd have still been without a printer. Email after email, they've done nothing. So why I would want to buy another Anycubic, God only knows. But I thought I'll give it a fair crack of the whip. So I purchased this from AliExpress, and everywhere was over about £300, probably a bit more. Anyway, on there they had it for $259, which I thought was, in fact I think it was a little bit cheaper than that. It's about £250 mark. And so I purchased one, and lo and behold, it came. The installation was a breeze, as you well know from most of these printers. It's a set of screws either side, and the cross beam attaches to the base. That's it. Once you've done that, you're up and running. Now, when I first printed with this machine, I predominantly bought this because I have a few printers, and this I mainly wanted just to print PLA on. I don't print PLA on any other machine. I use predominantly HIPs, ABS as well, but on the printers I have, the Zortrax M200, I use predominantly HIPs, and downstairs on the X-Max and the Anycubic 4Max Pro, I use HIPs. So I wanted something, I want swapping out filaments, I can just use PLA on. So I bought this. I thought it was reasonably inexpensive. When I first printed with it, I did the test prints, and the first print I did was this is, by the way, if I get you to make of the filament, this is a filament I purchased off, probably recognise it. It was Thumb1. Thumb1. Oh well. Yeah, it's a funny name, but anyway, it's a printer filament, really inexpensive, and I got three colours, obviously gold, silver and bronze, and they're all the silk colour, so I've never printed with that, but it's PLA, reasonably inexpensive. I think it was about, off Amazon, I think it cost me around about £14 a roll. Inexpensive, really. So the first print I did was this one. I hope that's focused in. That is, to say the least, excellent detail, but I had problems with it because if you can see just on the front, I don't know if you can see in this sort of light, but anyway, it's got some layer shifting, and it wasn't very well supported underneath. I mean, I printed all these that I'm going to show you on this machine with tree supports. I used Cure, the latest Cure 4.7, and I thought that's not bad detail. Rafts were a little bit hard to come off. Sorry, not the rafts, the tree supports were a little bit hard to come off, but they did come away. And I thought that's pretty good for first print. I mean, it were a few hours print was that, but I wasn't happy with the actual layers. Some of them seem to shift every so often, and I don't experience any of that on any of my other printers. You know, the Robox there, Jewel, is superb print. I use PLA on that because it's what the filament's expensive for that, so I tend not to. I use it sparingly, let's put it that way. So when I have to, I'll use that. But none of the M200 or the X Max or the 4Max Pro, I get layer shifting. I don't get it. So I decided to look at this printer a little bit more. I mean, it's your standard printer, board and tube, and it's not a direct extruder, which, to be fair, all my others are. But that won't give me the problem of the layer shifting. Anyway, I looked closely and I noticed that when I was feeding the filament in one day, I thought, this moves down. I only touched it slightly and it dropped. Well, it levels itself because there's two micro switches on either side, so that wasn't so much a problem. If you pushed it down, once it levels here, it'll continue down, or whichever side touches first, till it's perfectly level. I haven't had a problem with the bed level. A little bit unevenness on the actual heated bed, the glass bed, but you can alter that in your first layer, so I haven't had a problem with adhesion. It's been very good. But then I noticed the actual Z rods were your normal. I think they're 8mm, they're about 8-10mm, and I come to look at them and I thought, wait a minute here, I could actually get hold of the actual beam there and actually lift it up and down, and I thought, that's not right, that is definitely not right. So I ordered, and when I looked at the actual threads, the threads were okay on the rod, but the actual, there was no anti-backlash on screws. Now when I looked, I thought, this can't be right, because you can't see in there. I thought, I would have thought that I put them on. I mean, they're inexpensive, the pennies really, for manufacturers. Anyway, I purchased a pair of anti-backlash. I think it was about £8, and it came with rods as well, matching rods. I didn't use them. Now this is one of the rods that it came with, because there's nothing wrong was on the machine, and as you can appreciate, the longer, so I would have to cut them off. But the anti-backlash ones I'd purchased fit these rods fine, absolutely fine. So what I did was I changed them out, swapped them out. Now that is one that I took off. Now it moves quite nice and free, but watch this. See the plane, that's enough. I'll show you that close up. Look how that moves. It rocks about. It's no good whatsoever, and that's why when you pressed on that, it just moved down quite easily. So anyway, I fit them, but I noticed when I purchased them the ones you purchase, and I couldn't find any. These are threaded. The ones on Anycubic are threaded, so you've little Allen bolts that actually go into there on the top. I couldn't use them because the ones I purchased didn't have the threading. So what you have to do is swap them out for 4. I think they're 3mm threaded screws, and I put them in with anti-locking nuts on and put them on. That's superb. It still levels as it should, but you can't push that down. Now once I'd replaced these, and I would say if you'd bought this, it should come with those on, but for the time it takes to fit them and the cost, it wouldn't make it any more expensive. The first thing I'd do if I purchase one of these is change them. They're easy enough to change. I undo the bottoms, make sure you're over the edge of the table, undo those, drop the stepper motor out, simple 4 screws, and then pull the rod down out of the side, because it's only held up here, it's not clamped, it's just guided up here, and then drop it down, undo these, take that off, put your new one back on, put the new bolts in, and thread it back up and put it on. And it took me to change them about an hour, if that, 3/4 of an hour. But what a difference. Just show you some of the models. You saw the one before. I did the, I think it was Maker's Muse. I got a model off to test the limitations of the printer as regards clearances, and I printed the little engine off. Most people who got a 3D printer like to see that the tolerances are working fine. I printed, I think it was printed like that. It printed fine, no problems, and I said the tolerances are, all you have to do is simply go and it'll work. Well, after I'd done the, you can see that turns over, the pistons go in and out, there's no, and that was printed at 0.2 layer height, not the finest. I was amazed. It works straight away. Now what I have done is, on all the machines, I've printed the grouts off, got these off Thingiverse, and printed them off to test the colour filaments. These are the filaments that I've just been on about that I purchased. And when you look at the detail on that one, you can see that there's no layer shifting, nothing. It printed absolutely perfect. I'm over the moon with it, really. I'm just trying to put a bit of light on it because it's a little bit dark in the corner. I'm not in the shop, so how's that? Is that better? Right, you can see them now. The detail. Every one is the same. You can see the detail on that. The silver as well. The face. Everything about them. They're absolutely first class, and I printed a model out which is, it's not that easy to print really. I put the rafts on it, but I printed a raft with this one, and also, oh no, sorry, the first one I printed a raft with. This was printed with a brim, I printed all these with a brim. That was the only one, that one there, that I printed with a raft. Now if you look at that, look at the quality of the writing on the bottom. I've no work to do at that if I wanted to have painted it. You know, if I'd have done it in a matte grey or something. Even the ears, you know, the ripples on the head. It's amazing. But and that's what I want to show with this printer is it's a very good printer for the price. And in fact I had an email from AliExpress the other day, and you can get this on AliExpress now for £206. That includes the laser head. Now I'm sorry, but I don't know where you can go get a printer like this, and it's really well constructed. I haven't any other issues from it. Oh, I just have an issue with regards when you're changing filaments. I've noticed that when you change the filament and it's pulling it out, when it gets to the extruder, it will jam. It won't come out any further. I've noticed this because of the actual blob of the end of this. When it extracts it, when it's heated the nozzle up, what happens is it doesn't leave it quite smooth. So, and there's enough room for it to be slightly wider in the tube, the boarding tube. What happens then is when it gets down to the extruder, that blob actually stops in the extruder. It won't allow it to go through. I mean, it's a simple fix, because all I do is pull on the lever, because you know it stops. I pull on the tension lever, release the tension, and then pull it out. Or what I've started to do now is I pull the tube out the top of the extruder and just clip the filament off there before it's got there, and then I just pull the rest out, because I don't like using that bit again because it's got the teeth mark serrations on the filament, and I've had a couple of occasions where it's broke, not on this, on the others, because you haven't cut that part off, and when you look at it you can see all the little teeth on it. Well, remember, it's not only been notched once going in, it's been notched once coming out, so inevitably you want to cut that off and start with a clean piece of filament. But that is the only issue, and I've got to say it, the after sales, it's a shame, the after sales service is so atrocious. Well, I can say for me it is. You know, I'd have a £400 printer downstairs that I could no longer use. I might as well have thrown it in the skip, because they haven't responded about supplying me with another screen, and it ain't because I haven't tried. I have tried. Now that to me is atrocious after sales. There's nobody bothered, and it's a shame when the units are putting out are first class. I mean, believe it or not, these are good, but I'm going to go down into workshop and show some of these on my other printers. But I printed one of the groups off on the X Max, and I printed 3 off actually on the X Max, and I printed 1 off, a black one in it hips, on the 4 Max. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it looks like it's been injection molding. It's absolutely first class. Now that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't gone and purchased a screen myself, and which I showed in a previous video, and how if other people's had that, you know, if you look on my site you'll find out that the screen was really simple to change. That wasn't the problem. Getting into it was a bit more difficult, but I would still be waiting, and that would never have happened. So yeah, they produce a good printer, Anycubic, and for somebody's first time printer, I recommend this one. I mean, touch wood, I've not had any problems with it, only that. And if people aren't particularly bothered, then keep it as it is, don't change it, but I knew I could get this better. And I'm in process at the moment of looking at the Photon Mono X, the big resin printer, but I'm not paying those prices at the moment yet. 3D Jake has got it on a good deal at the moment, but you know, I think the prices will settle down a bit more. I made the mistake with the 4 Max Pro and the Mi Photon S. I paid a little bit over the odds, and now you can get them. I would have saved about £300 for the pair, so it's a big savings. So as I say, it's just a little video to let you know. I don't think this is on sale in many of the normal places at the moment, but I do know that I think you can purchase it on eBay at the moment, but there's a lot. It's just keep your eye out. But I do know AliExpress have a good deal on with it at the moment, and everything I've purchased from them has been the screen for the 4 Max came from AliExpress. So yeah, just bear in mind that my personal opinion and my experiences is the after sale service is totally non-existent. So whether that'll change, I don't know. It won't change my views, but this is a good printer for the first time 3D printer purchaser. So I hope I've helped and guided those out there that are thinking of purchasing. But as I say, if you do, think about changing those if you're capable of changing them, or if you know somebody that can change them for you. But it's a must. Anti-backlash on those, said I. So I'd like to say thanks for listening, and till next time. And I will be going down into the workshop, and I'll be completing a little video down there to show the groups. So, but until next time, see you all later. Bye.